On November 14, 1998, the members of the Tectonic Theater Project traveled to Laramie, Wyoming, and conducted interviews with the people of the town. Over the next year, we would return to Laramie and conduct over 200 interviews. The play you are about to see is edited from those interviews, as well as from journal entries from members of the company and other found texts. Company member Greg Pirati.
My first interview was with Detective Sergeant Hing of the Laramie Police Department. At the start of the interview, he sat behind his desk, something like this. My family's been here for quite a while. Grandparents moved here in the early 1900s. No, quite a while. So, our family is third, well, my daughter makes the fourth generation. Quite a while. A lot of space, and good people too. Now, the reason why all the towns in southern Wyoming are spaced out is because of the railroad. They wanted to see how far they could get without having to refuel, rewater, and Laramie was a major stopping point. We're one of the most largest states in the country with the least population.
There's so much space between people and towns here. So much time for reflection.
Rebecca Hilliker, head of the theater department at the University of Wyoming.
I felt that the people here were nicer than in the Midwest where I used to teach, because they were happy. They were glad the sun was shining, and it shines a lot here.
And then you have your old-type rancher people that have been here for forever. And Laramie's kind of a major stopping point or hub for supplies and things.
Stewardship is the one thing all our ancestors taught us.
Eileen Engen, rancher.
If you don't take care of your land, then you lose it, and you ruin your living. So first of all, you have to do everything you can to improve it, and then take care of it.
I love it.
Doc O'Connor, limousine driver.
Best part about it is the climate, the cold, the wind. They say the Wyoming wind will drive a man insane, but you know what? It don't bother me. Well, some of the times it bothers me, but most of the time it don't.
And then you have the university population.
I moved here after living in a couple of big cities.
Philip Dubois, president of the University of Wyoming.
And I loved it there. But you'd have to be out of your mind to let your kids out after dark. But here, in the summertime, I let my kids out until 11 at night. And I don't think twice about it.
And then you have the people that basically live in Laramie.
I moved here from rural Texas.
Zachy Salmon, Laramie resident.
Now, I love it here in Laramie. I love being able to go to the grocery store and meeting with 4, 5, or 6 people I know at a time. It's wonderful. And as for them knowing my business, well, I don't really mind it. Because what's my business? My business is basically good.
I like the trains, too. They don't bother me. Well, some of the times they bother me, but most of the time they don't. Even though one goes past my house every 13 minutes where I live.
Doc actually lives up in Bossler, but everybody in Laramie knows him. He's also not really a doctor.
They used to carry cattle, them trains. Now they carry his diapers and cars.
I grew up in Cody, Wyoming.
April Silva, University student.
But Laramie's better than where I grew up. I'll give it that.
Lots of great people, you know, and great space. Now, when that incident happened with that boy, a lot of press people came down here, and some even followed me out of the crime scene. And it was a gorgeous day that day, you know, the sky, it was something you really couldn't paint. The mountains in the background with a bit of snow on them, but they're nothing but the story. And this one lady reporter person comes up to me and asks,
Well, who found the boy? Who was out there anyway?
and I said, well, this is a really popular area for horseback riding, mountain biking, because it's close to town. But she just says,
Who would want to run out here?
and I say, lady, you're missing the point. All you have to do is go outside, look at the mountains, smell the air, listen to the birds. But then press people, they're nothing but the story. I mean, I feel that they're quite stupid. They're just missing the whole point.
It's hard to talk about what Laramie is now, tell you what Laramie is for us.
Jedediah Schultz.
If you would have asked me before, I would have told you Laramie is a beautiful town, secluded enough where you can find your own identity. A town with a strong sense of community. I mean, everybody knows everybody. A town
Journal entries from members of the company. Andy Paris.
Moises called saying an idea for his next theater project, but there was a somberness to his voice. So I asked what it was all about, and he said he wanted to do a piece on what was happening in Wyoming.
Stephen Belver.
Lay told me the company was thinking about going out to Laramie to conduct some interviews, and they wanted me to come along. But I'm hesitant. I'm not really interested in prying to a town so randomly.
Amanda Gronich.
I've never done anything like this before in my life. How do you get people to talk to you? What do you ask?
Moises Kaufman.
The company has agreed to go to Laramie for a week. I am a bit hesitant. I am a bit worried about taking 10 people on a trip of this nature. Must make some safety rules. No one works alone. Everybody carries cell phones. I've made some preliminary contacts with Rebecca Hilliker, head of the theater department at the University of Wyoming. She is hosting a party for us our first night in Laramie, and has promised to introduce us to some possible interviewees.
I must tell you, when you first told me you were coming here, when you first called me, I thought, you've just kicked me in the stomach, why are you doing this to me? But then I thought about it, and I decided that you're not doing this to me, and more importantly, there's been some really negative closure about this whole thing. And the students need to talk. When this thing happened, all the students started talking, and as soon as the media descended, the dialogue stopped. You know, I really love my students because they are free thinkers. And you may not like what they have to say, and you may not like their opinions because they can be very redneck, but they're honest, and they're truthful. So there's an excitement here. There's a dynamic here that I never had when I was teaching in the Midwest or in North Dakota. Because there was so much Puritanism that dictated how people looked at the world. They didn't have an opinion. You couldn't get them to express an opinion. And quite honestly, I'd rather have opinions that I don't like and have that dynamic in education. There's a student I think you should talk to. His name is Jedediah Schultz.
I've lived in Wyoming my whole life. My family's been in Wyoming, well, for generations. Now, when it came time for me to go to college, my parents can't. They couldn't afford to send me to college. Now, there's this competition each year, this high school Wyoming state competition. And I knew that if I didn't take first and duets, then I wouldn't be getting on a scholarship. So I went to the university department looking for good scenes. And I asked one of the professors, I'm like, I need a killer scene. And he's like, here you go. This is it. And it was from Angels in America. So I read through it, and I knew I could win first place if I did a good enough job. So when it came time, I went to go tell my parents about it, so that they could come see me at the competition. Now, you have to understand, my parents come to everything, every ball game, every hockey game, everything that I've ever done. So they sat me down in their room. They told me that they wouldn't be coming to this competition, and they believed it was because homosexuality is wrong. They believed that so strongly that they didn't want to come see their son do probably the most important thing he'd done to that point in his life. I didn't know what to do. Now, you have to understand, I've never, ever gone against my parents' wishes. And I was kind of worried about it, but I decided to do it. And the only thing I can remember is that when we were done, me and my scene partner, we stood up, we shook hands, and there was a standing ovation. Boy, it was incredible. And we took first place and we won. And that's how come I can afford to come to university, because of that scene. And my parents weren't there to see it. And to this day, that's the only thing my parents haven't seen me do. And I think to myself, why'd I do it? Because I ain't gay, so why'd I do it? And I guess the only honest answer I can give you is, I wanted to win. It was such a good scene. It was like the best scene. Do you know Mr. Kushner? Maybe you could tell him.
Company member Greg Pirati.
We arrived at Denver Airport, and we drove to Laramie. The moment we crossed the Wyoming border, I swear I saw a herd of buffalo. And it was strange. We saw a sign, and it said, Wyoming, like no place on earth but Wyoming. Like no place on earth.
Company member Leigh Fondakowski.
I stopped at a local inn for a bite to eat, and my waitress said to me,
Hi, my name is Debbie and I was born in 1954. Well, Debbie Reynolds was big then, so yes, there are a lot of us. But I promise I won't stop you